Financial planning is a concept that Nigerians experience in bits and pieces. Stockbrokers, fund managers, pension fund managers, bankers, and insurance companies offer elements that help ordinary people shape their financial futures. Now, to examine the evolution of financial planning in Nigeria, I'm joined in the studio by Nimi Akikugbe. She's the CEO of Best Man Games. Thank you so much, Nimi, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here. So maybe we should start by breaking it down. Financial planning, what do we mean by that? Give us some context of what we're talking about here, because like I did mention earlier, it seems we get bits and pieces of that from different investment professionals.
Well, if you come from the stance that as you go through the different life stages, every aspect of your life has something to do with money. As people are educating their children, educating themselves, planning for their first job, their salaries, retirement, estate planning, philanthropy, everything ties into financial matters. So it's important that everyone takes financial planning, personal financial management very seriously. It's a concept that helps you to manage your finances in a structured way.
Right.
As you go through life and you have goals, you can't really achieve much if you haven't planned properly. So that's basically what financial planning is about.
Right. So it's a profession that hopefully will evolve in this country. But talk to us, give us more insight into the various elements. I think I mentioned a few of them.
Yes.
And there's the insurance element, there is
it covers the whole
so
gamut.
Can you just talk us through that?
From the concepts, liquidity, asset allocation, it comes through all that. Then it talks about your insurance, tax, retirement planning and pensions, estate planning. It covers the whole gamut of your financial life.
Right.
And it's a process. It's not just something that you just do once. It's a life process. You start with looking at exactly where you are. What goals do you have? It's important that we all have set, clear goals that we're working towards.
Right.
So you have your goals, gather your data. What data do you need to be able to understand your financial situation, from bank statements to documentation, investment certificates, all those sorts of things.
Right.
Then you analyze that data. It's a whole 6-step process. Analyze the data, your current situation. What are you owing? What do you own? How much do you earn? How much do you spend? That all comes into it.
Right.
It's after that that you begin to build your financial plan and then implement it. And then, of course, as life changes, you have to keep monitoring it and reviewing it as time goes on. It's quite difficult for most people because we don't have an actual financial planning certification here yet, where you have a professional that can guide you all the way through. So you end up talking to your stockbroker, your banker, your lawyer, and so on to try and put all the pieces together.
But how does, if you like, the ordinary person connect to all of this? Because given the poverty levels you have in a country like Nigeria, many people will say financial planning is a concept for the rich. You know, so how do the ordinary people, if you like, connect to this concept?
Everyone, no matter how ordinary or extraordinary, has to have goals. So the poorest person or the wealthiest person, it's not about how much money you earn or you have, it's about how much you're able to keep. So it's about saving whatever you have. I always tell people, whether it's just 10% if you can, of everything you have, to put it away into some savings. You'll be amazed at how it can grow. But people just sort of give up and think, oh, I don't earn enough, I could never ever save, there's nothing left. But that's not true. By prioritizing, having the goals, cutting back where you have some excess, and beginning to systematically put some plan in place, it does work.
And if you can talk about the difference this can make in a person's life, like I mentioned, some people cannot really connect with the concept simply because they feel they do not earn that much.
Yes.
And then they tend to perhaps just do what they think they need to do right now.
Yes.
So talk to us about the importance of having a plan in the context of where you are now and where you want to go, and the difference that can make.
Even just from starting with a budget. What are you trying to save towards? You're trying to save towards getting a car, a second-hand car, or a new car if you can afford it. So you're systematically putting funds aside towards that. You have to have short, medium, and long-term goals. Your short-term goals are the goals that you're trying to achieve within 1 year. Your medium-term goals within the next year to 5 years, and long-term goals toward your retirement. If you start now and start putting funds aside, for example, by automating your finances, that's a fantastic way of doing it. Because if you wait till the end of the month, we all find that there's nothing ever left. But if you, at the beginning of the month, as soon as your salary hits, for those that are fortunate enough to have a job and are in employment, have it automated by a direct debit. So part of your salary at source goes out directly into a savings mechanism.
Right.
It's important. a lot of us are busy looking at other people's goals and not necessarily our own. It's so important to focus on what you are trying to achieve as opposed to the next person, so you don't sort of get
I get asked this question quite often by quite a few individuals in Nigeria, saying that can they invest in the stock market now? Because these days what you find is that quite a few stockbrokers restrict entry, if you like. They really want to deal with people who have the millions simply because of the earning potential of
But that's
such
where
people.
the mutual funds come in, because mutual funds are a fantastic tool for anyone that has from a point of 10,000 naira, I think is the lowest entry point.
Yeah.
So if you save towards that, but we must point out that the stock market does have much more risk than deposits. So you really cannot afford to be in the stock market unless you're trying to achieve long-term goals.
Right.
The mistake many people are making is they go into the stock market expecting to turn over their money so quickly, and they can get burnt that way. So anyone can get into the stock market with 10,000 naira, but it's so critical that they do have long-term goals.
Final point is the evolution that we can anticipate in this space, financial planning in Nigeria. It's not a very recognized profession here. I think the SEC is thinking about how they want to change that.
It'll be wonderful if that happens, because it'll build a whole new profession, the way the stockbrokers have their certification and so on. Right. It's not happening yet, it hasn't happened yet, but certainly there is some work going on to try to bring this forward so that we have professionals who can take the clients all the way through their financial plan and guide them across and monitor as well. Right. So but they would also always have to be talking to professionals. So the financial planner will bring in an insurance person to make sure the insurance piece is correct, lawyers for the estate planning and so on. So it just drives the whole process.
And these are concepts that are even available in other parts of
absolutely.
Africa, like
yes,
South
Africa
right
has
now.
a CFP certification.
All right, we'll see how things play out. Thank you so much for joining us, Nimi Akegugbe, giving us her thoughts on financial planning in Nigeria.